movement, motivation, be unbreakable.
Oh yeah. That's right, y'all. It's the Unbreakable Mixshow. My name is DJ Tony J. I love that echo. That echo is so much fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are celebrating so many things tonight. Wait, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. It's so great because, I stream to Instagram, but I can't play music there. So what I do is I turn the mic off, and I have this little graphic that says, hey, come and listen. You can hit the link in the bio and come listen to the show and come watch the show. And it's great because I have a timer set on my Instagram so that I don't spend too much time on it, because I was finding like months ago that I was spending too much time on it. So I set a timer, and like right now it came up and it's like, it's time to get off Instagram. And I'm like, oh man, not right now. I'm in the middle of the show. Come on, man. So sometimes you got to override the timer, and especially tonight, because we are celebrating so many great things tonight. First of all, we're celebrating my 51st birthday, which was yesterday. That's right, y'all. 51 years old. I should say 51 years young. 51 years wiser. I love that, because as I do get older, I don't feel like I'm getting old. It's so crazy. I think it's just a number. It's all in the mentality. It's all in the physicality. You know, I think you got to stay young up here in the mind so that you can stay young out here in the world. So remember that, all right? So we're celebrating my 51st birthday. It was so much fun. It was so great. And we're also celebrating today because today, July 26th, back in 1990, that's 32 years ago, the ADA was signed. That's right. The Americans with Disabilities Act was signed into law. Oh, man. We got to get a couple more sound effects for that. It's so great. It's so great. The ADA was so important, and I can't believe it took so long, but thank God that it did happen. Thank God that it did happen, because the Americans with Disabilities Act, like, what is it? You know, it's funny because, like, there was many years that I didn't even know exactly what it did, but what it does, it prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in several areas. We had to put this into law, y'all. Now, it includes employment, transportation, public accommodations, communications, and access to state and local government programs and services, okay? So it's very, very important that we recognize the ADA, that we think about how important it is for people with disabilities who, you know, really are in need of these things, and that we, you know, continue to put things into action that the ADA had established. So since the signing happened in July now has become Disability Pride Month, and it's so great because we're celebrating it this month. That's right. We're celebrating not just the signing of the ADA, but just disabilities in general. And so tonight I wanted to talk to you about, you know, what can you do? How can you do your part to not only acknowledge the ADA, but support it and support people with disabilities and support really Disability Pride Month. So I wanted to just run down a few things that I feel are really important. And I think that you will agree. And all you got to do is just implement these things, and then you're going to be supporting people with disabilities. What about that? That's right. So first of all, you know, we were talking about how the ADA prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities in different areas, including employment. So this is a big one. So if you're a business owner, and I know a lot of business owners, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, I know a lot of people that watch this show, that listen to this show. So this is for you. And for those of you who want to go into, you know, maybe owning your own business, here's a few things that I want you to think about. I want you to think about how you can put people with disabilities into positions in your business, okay? Like, really give it some thought, because people with disabilities, man, they're very capable. Even though it's called a disability, there are so many capable people with disabilities who can do the work that your business does. And I want you to think about, how can you employ some people with disabilities? And it's kind of twofold. So you giving thought to it not only will help you to write a better job description, but it will open up the doors to people with disabilities who may feel intimidated. Because a lot of people with disabilities feel like, man, I feel intimidated just to put out an application. And it could be any sort of disability. So you have to, think about that as you're going forward and putting out employment, reaching out for employment. Like, how can I state this so that everyone feels comfortable to apply for this job? Because, again, some people with disabilities may feel intimidated, may feel like, man, I don't got what it takes to do this. So I kind of feel like I can't even put in an application. And that thought is crazy. So we want to eliminate that, first of all. We want everybody to feel comfortable putting in an application for things that they feel qualified for, okay? So that's what I want you to think about. If you're a business owner and you want to employ somebody, like, think about who can you get that has a disability. And you got to remember, people with disabilities, they earn way, way, way less money than anybody else, someone without a disability. I think back I was looking at stats earlier in 2019, the median income for someone with a disability that wasn't institutionalized was only like $25,000 for the year. That's crazy. That's craziness. That is not correct. That's inappropriate. We need to make sure that people with disabilities that are capable are handling these jobs, getting these jobs, and earning more money, earning the money that they deserve, okay? So let's start thinking about that. Now, another thing I want you to think about, whether you're a business owner or not, I want to encourage the people that you know. I want you to encourage the people that you know. I'm going to encourage you, and you're going to encourage them to make places accessible. Okay, now I talk about this a lot because I talk about, building ramps, like how that should just be the normal, but stairs are kind of the normal thing still. And both can exist, but both need to exist. Did you hear what I said? Both can exist, but both need to exist, all right? So think about that, if you're in a place and you're dealing with designing it, building it, even if you're working at a facility, right? If it's your business or if you're working somewhere, can someone that uses a wheelchair get into this facility easily? Like, have you ever asked that question? Think about that and ask that question. Can someone that uses a wheelchair get in here easily, or with some other aid that they use to walk, right? Some other device. Someone with a cane, someone with crutches. Can they get in here easily? And then think about, would this be comfortable for them once they're in here? Like, is there space to move around? Like, these simple questions, these very simple questions are so important for us to remember when we're out there in society, whether we're the employer or we're working somewhere. Like, can someone access this easily, and is it comfortable for them? Because you want it to be comfortable for you, right? I mean, shoot, even if you don't have a disability, you'll complain if a chair is like not comfortable. So think about it. If someone who uses a wheelchair comes into a place, can they just easily get up to the table, right? So you got to think about these things. I used to frequent this place called Spoon Fed in LA. It's not there any longer, but they had a bar, and it was so dope because their bar was pretty high. But what they did is they had a section of the bar that would transform and lower for people that were using chairs, and for shorter individuals as well. So it was so dope because they thought about accessibility as they were building their bar. There was plenty of room in the aisles for people to move around, move and shake, right? The tables were at a good height. There was chairs that were movable, not just booths. So this place was super accessible, and I really enjoyed that spot. I wish it was still open. I spent many an hour at Spoon Fed, and I really appreciated that, seeing how they made the place accessible. So when you're out and about, even if you're at a bar, even if you're at a restaurant, look around. And don't be afraid to say something. Don't be afraid to say something to the owners, to the people that work there. Just say, hey, I just wanted to mention to you, it seems like it's not very accessible here. The bathrooms maybe aren't accessible, or, it's not, the aisles aren't wide enough, We got to have a little bit of pride in that. We got to have a little bit of courage in that, a little bit of confidence, and just asking people. You don't have to be mean about it, but just be cool and just say, hey, you know what? I noticed that things aren't very accessible here. maybe we could make it a little accessible for people. So I think that's a big thing. I want you guys to think about that, okay? Now the final thing, here we go. And this kind of blew my mind. I want you to think about accessibility on your website and then the things that you do online. Oh man, this is a big one. Because I've been visiting some websites that are run by people with disabilities and their sites are not even accessible. Yeah, I know. You're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. You're like, what are you talking about? If they have a disability, for sure their website is accessible. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not across the board. So if you have a disability and you have a website, and a lot of people with disabilities do have websites because, we run a lot of online business because it's good. It's good for us to be able to do that. If you have a website, you need to make it accessible. Like this is just default. And you may say, well, it costs a lot. Well, it doesn't cost a lot. You can use a system and a software called userway.org. 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 Okay, I use this on my websites. It's a plugin, and it just plugs in. There is a paid version of it, but you can slap that on right now and make your site accessible. That's right. So for someone who's visually impaired, for someone who has a hearing impairment, right, you will be able to make things accessible for them. It's awesome. So speaking of being hearing impaired, a lot of video is out there right now online. A lot of online businesses, a lot of websites use video. Is your video accessible? Do you have captions available? Captions, y'all, subtitles. It's so important. I mean, I love that Instagram will do it automatically. YouTube does it automatically. There's a lot of video platforms that will do it automatically, but you have to think about how can you add it yourself. Go in and fix them. Go in and fix the subtitles and the captions. Make sure that the spellings are right. Because people can tell when you're reading the captions, you're like, oh, that's like totally spelled incorrectly. Like when I say osteogenesis imperfecta, which is my disability, when I say that on video, and then the translation of the AI subtitle captioner tries to say it, man, it comes out all different things. It's like oi. Comes out oi, like O-I-Y sometimes. Osteogenesis imperfecta never comes out spelled correctly, so I got to go in and fix it. And so think about that. Where can you fix it? And then the last thing that you need to think about on social media, and I see this happening a lot on the social media platforms, is where you want to put in the alt description for pictures, okay, for graphics. And you'll see a lot of people putting it like in the captions, but you don't need to put it in the captions. There is a place specifically for alternate descriptions where you can describe what's happening in the picture. It's a little deeper into the menu as you're posting something on Instagram. Look for it. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but look for it. There's a place that you can go in and put alt description. You need to do this on your website as well. You need to go in and put an alt description for the pictures on your website. So you got to do this for the hearing impaired. For the visually impaired, because then they'll be able to listen because their phones, their computers are talking to them, telling them what's in the pictures. So you got to make it clear. And another big thing with that is you got to make sure that you're actually describing the things. A lot of descriptions just have weird things. Like they'll say the person's name. Like if it's a picture of me and I'm like standing there having a drink or something, it would be like, Tony Jacobsen is standing and drinking, right? But is that really descriptive of the picture? No, you say there's a white male. His name's Tony. He has on a black short sleeve shirt. He's drinking a protein shake, right? Use adjectives, use words that close your eyes and think about what do I need to say to make this picture clear when it gets read in text for someone to be able to understand what's in this picture, right? So that's a big one. I want to talk about that tonight, and I hope that people will start to do this. Look for the alt description, alt text it's also called, like on social media, on YouTube, on your website, anywhere if there's pictures, put in an alt description because the software is there, the hardware is there to be able to read it for the visually impaired, and we need to just do it because it should just be a normal thing. It's a normal thing. All right, so let's just start doing that. All right, so that's some ways that you can make things accessible. Now, the big thing is we're doing it. I'm doing it on Unbreakable Body, on the Unbreakable Body platform, which is my online adaptive fitness platform. I purposely say it's accessible because it is accessible, and I actually make it accessible for people. It's easy to join, first of all, because it's free, and everything is accessible. So it's follow-along workouts, and everything is captioned. All right, everything is, number one, it's filmed in high quality. The audio is captured in high quality, so you can hear it good, you can see it good, and then guess what? There's captions. If you can't hear it, then there's captions. If you can't see it, you can hear it. I'm cueing throughout. I'm making sure that the things that I'm saying are very clear for people that want to work out. I'm describing the moves I'm doing, right? So it's very accessible. Everything is typed out. I use UserWay so that people can access it in different ways. And so Unbreakable Body is truly an accessible platform, and I want you to help me to keep it going. So tonight, in honor of my birthday, which was yesterday, in honor of the birthday of the ADA, the signing of the ADA 32 years ago, right, we're going to celebrate, and I need your support to keep Unbreakable Body going. So I want you to go to TonyJacobsen.com, Tony Jacobsen with an E.com, and I want you to give, all right? I want you to give to the Unbreakable platform. We've got a roadmap for the platform that is amazing. I got new programs coming. I'm going to be bringing new trainers in. We're going to be filming a whole slew of new workouts. We're going to be doing live workouts. We're really going to build it up. This next 6 months is going to be crazy before even 2023, but I need your help to keep it going. So consider supporting, all right? Any amount is going to help. Go to TonyJacobsen.com/give, Give, and you can give. All right, let's help me to keep this free for the users. That's the biggest thing. I want to keep it free for everybody. And so with your support, we're really redefining what's possible, and I really appreciate everybody who gives. All right, so Unbreakable Body, y'all. Come to TonyJacobsen.com. It's all part of the Tony Jacobsen Foundation. I think I may have talked long enough. We're going to get back into it. We're going into the second hour, y'all. It's the second hour of the Unbreakable Mix Show. We are celebrating, y'all. Celebrating. All right, we're going to get back into it. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Jump in the chat if you're watching on video, or hit me up on in the Discord if you're a Cyber FM listener. Yo, we can get down. If you have questions about Disability Pride, the ADA, Unbreakable Body, the Tony Jacobsen Foundation, whatever it may be, I am here to answer your questions. So slide on through and let's talk about it. It's the Unbreakable Mix Show, y'all. Let's go.
Music, movement, motivation. Be unbreakable.